How y'all, Wyrm here. So we woke up to a bit of a treat this morning. Square Enix finally released the special site for the upcoming patch 5.5, which they've now dubbed Death Unto Dawn. Now the site is bare bones at the moment, it's mostly bullet points and some art, so there's not really much to go into. However, I wanted to make a quick video because it does release some hints regarding what we're going to be doing and the kind of path we're going to be taking, and I also want to do some speculation as well, particularly around the artwork, so let's start there. Now the patch is titled Death Unto Dawn, so that means, well, it's pretty ominous in my eyes. So death leads on to a new dawn, a new beginning, maybe? Well, you never know. But the artwork itself is pretty interesting. Like, they could have gone with anything, and the artwork they chose is the leadership of every nation that we're currently encountering. So it's pretty ominous as well. You've got dark, you've got flames in the background, and then you've got all the leadership here. And they're not looking very happy with themselves, so you never know what this is actually going to mean. So speculation wise, I have a feeling that we're going to have some sort of dark turn before we actually turn into Endwalker. And that's a given the fact that Endwalker is going to cap off the storylines of Hydaelyn and the Ascians. The story, I think, is going to take a pretty dark turn before it goes into that expansion. So in terms of what could happen, it's literally anybody's guess, but the fact that the leadership is here means it's probably going to be something major. Now let's move on to the actual notes that have come with patch 5.5's main site. So we've gotten a number of notes and they're pretty generic, however there is some detail actually to see in here. So the first one is the main scenario quest, which we just went through regarding what the story may or may not be. Next we have the new Alliance raid, Yora Dark Apocalypse. So this caps off the Nier storyline, so this is the third and final Nier Alliance raid. If you haven't yet, I'd say get the first two done ASAP, just so you can jump right into the third one. It's pretty good, especially when you do it with a large group, similar to what we're doing. So my entire FC is going to jump in together. So it makes it all the more special when you're all participating and sharing the experience together. Now the main reason I wanted to make this video is because of this. A new dungeon called Pagith-An. I think that's how you pronounce it. I'm not 100% certain, I'm sorry. But what Pagith-An is right here. It's an arid region to the southeastern side of the continent of Aldenard, lying east of Thanalan. It is the homeland of the Amalja Beast tribe. Now, if you look at this quick map of Eorzea, you'll notice that the location in question that's being referenced to is actually right here. So it's roughly in this area, that's where we're going to be going. This isn't really an area we've explored, but the fact that they're just saying that it's this location in general is something really interesting. So I'm starting to think this may actually be an area that's featured in the upcoming expansion. This could be our bridging off point, if you will, in order to get to Thavnair. Like, you never know. This could open up the path for Endwalker to begin. So it's likely that Endwalker could begin in this area. Now the next two actually combine together, Chronicles of a New Era, The Sorrow of World, I think that's how you pronounce it, and then you have a new trial, The Cloud Deck. Now the new trial is actually going to tie into this because it's going to be the new weapon that we need to fight, or it's going to be the final one rather. So the new trial is going to tie into that because we get an extreme mode of that weapon fight. So this is something I'm personally really looking forward to, as I've enjoyed all the weapon fights thus far. New Save the Queen battlefield, Zadnor. Now, this is an interesting one. Like, I'm really glad we're getting a new battlefield. Like, that's brilliant. But I'm not really sure what Zadnor is. I've tried Googling it. I've tried looking at information. It's only mentioned a couple of times by Final Fantasy XIV players. But we don't really have much information on what it is. But if you do know what this is, if you know what this means, please leave a comment down below. I'd love to actually learn more about what Zadnor means. PlayStation 5 version open beta begins. This is something that everybody is chomping at the bit to get into. PS4 players especially, they're dying to get their hands on this new lower loading time FF14 experience. So this is something that everybody's really excited about, and if you have a PS5 and you're going to be playing on it, this is something you're definitely going to jump at on April when patch launches. A new Unreal trial is coming, so I completely forgot about this, to be honest. I didn't actually realize we were getting a third Unreal trial. But thinking about it, we got Shiva as the first one, then we got Titan as the second. If I had to guess on the third, my personal guess would be Leviathan. Because Leviathan is... It's an interesting fight when you're fighting at level 50, for example. So it requires a lot of movement, it requires a lot of tactics, similar to what Titan is. So I think it would be a great Unreal trial to actually cap off the expansion with. Ishgardian Restoration updates. Now, I'm not really sure what this means, but given the fact that I think most servers, if not all servers, have actually finished their restorations at this point, it could be that they're just wiping the slate clean of all the building work that's been done, and they're going to show the area as it's going to stay from now going forward. But yeah, it's a mystery, to be honest. Like, we don't know exactly what they mean by this, but this is only theory guessing at the moment. But I'd say if you haven't done the quest in the Ishgardian Restoration area yet in the Firmament, I'd say get them done now, just in case they may or may not disappear, but don't quote me on that. New custom deliveries, so this is interesting. I don't know exactly how this is going to tie in, but I'm assuming it's going to tie in to this new area that we may be going to. If we're going somewhere around here, for example, in the Pagathan, it's possible that the custom deliveries has something to do with that, but again, don't quote me on that, this is just my guess. Explorer mode update and New Game Plus update. So I'm assuming the Explorer mode is going to include the rest of the dungeons that we actually don't have, but also include the new dungeons that are coming in. And then New Game Plus only goes as far as the end of the main Shadowbringer, so it doesn't really include the patches. So I'm assuming New Game Plus is going to include the patches that we haven't seen in New Game Plus yet, so from 5.1 to 5.4, for example. This is something people are really looking forward to, especially in myself, because there's a lot of footage in those patches that I really want to get my hands on. Performance update. So, pretty generic. We don't really know what this means, but I will say this. Square Enix has been working hard for years to try and trim back as much of the unneeded code, the legacy code, but also to reduce the strain on the game, and particularly on the network connection required between you and the game servers. This is something they've been working on for a while, so I'm assuming this only adds on to what their ultimate plan is in order to actually streamline the game as much as possible, which allows them then to add in more features that are actually needed and wanted. And then finally, as usual, which everybody always looks forward to, new mounts, new minions, new emotes. What they are? Who knows? And, of course, more. Much more. Okay, everyone, that's pretty much everything I just wanted to go through. This was a really quick video. You could call it a fluff video if you want. I wouldn't really call it that. But anyway, Death Unto Dawn. A pretty ominous title for a patch, if I had to say. I mean, we've seen so many patch titles in the past. This just feels, and looking at the art, something big is going to go down, and I don't know what it is. I'm scared. I don't want to lose any of these people. Please say we don't lose any of these people. I don't think my heart can take it. But I look forward to April 13th when we finally find out what this means and what is going to happen going forward towards Endwalker. Thanks for watching, everyone, and as always, have a good one.